I'm here at Toro, Australia, which could be Australia's largest lawnmower brand. They've just released a whole bunch of new stuff, electric, petrol, and so I've come here with Patrick, and he's going to show me the whole new range. So tell me about this. This is brand new.
Yeah. So this is just out on the market. It is our Titan range of product. So it's kind of that entry-level commercial kind of machine. Couple of the cool features on this is obviously the mower suspension system.
Yeah.
It comes in 3 deck sizes, so you got 48, 54, and 60 inch. They all come with the mower suspension system. It is adjustable. This is slightly different to the Z-Master adjustment. So you've got from like a low to a high tension kind of suspension on there, and really to suit the operator. So you can have it from relaxing lounge chair to kind of a little bit firmer if you need it. So
you said entry-level commercial.
Yeah.
So I think you said 300 hours.
Yeah. So it's 3-year, 300-hour warranty on these units.
So it seems like this is kind of made for people who maybe you've got a contract and maybe doing a lot of residential work, and so it's lighter use.
Yeah.
But still considered commercial. Foot adjustment.
Definitely. Yep. So that adjusts your height of cut here. Pretty easy, straightforward. There's a couple of cool features on the deck for serviceability from a commercial point that would be cool to highlight as well. So you can kind of see here, just to be able to access into the spindle area for cleaning. It's no tools. So this actually just pops up here, and then these slide out here, and then you can access under there for kind of blowing it out and keeping it clean.
And that's pretty damn easy to get on and off.
Easy, yeah. So you just line it up, push it forward, pop it down.
So the natural question then with the serviceability is, how long do you usually get out of a belt? And obviously it depends if you're smart or silly with how you use it. You said this is a little thicker than some belts you might get out there? Yeah,
so these run a B-section belt, which is a bit thicker. Obviously the spindles are designed for this type of deck. This is a 10 gauge iron forged Toro deck, and it's a hard question to kind of answer, but if you're looking after the machine, yearly kind of thing, you wouldn't need to replace the belt as long as you're mowing in the right conditions. So.
Or contractors should usually have a spare belt.
100%.
Just in case.
Yep.
But yeah, several hundred hours you reckon?
Yeah, definitely. Yep.
Okay, next question. How high and how low does this thing cut?
Yeah, so it does, you can see here, it does 1.5 inches up to 5 inches is a height of cut. Really easy to adjust. So you just have a pin which is magnetic, and you've got all your locator holes there with the guide as to how, where the height is. So if I wanted to do it at 3.5 inches, I'm on this section here, go to 3, go to the half, put it in there, and then I just put my foot down here, release the lever here, and that'll drop down to the 3.5 inch space.
This might be a dumb question, because I would lose something like this.
Yep.
In desperation, can I just use a bolt? That's
yeah, you could use something.
I can chuck a screwdriver if I get desperate.
You get desperate.
I've done that. I've done that before. That's from experience.
Yeah.
All right.
It's also pretty good with this foot adjust. You can, if you've got like an obstacle that you see in front of you as you're mowing over, you can just lift the deck up and down to get over that. It will lock if I keep pushing it in that upright further position, but until it gets to that lock point, you can just lift it up if you need to get over something, which is cool.
Which is a massive advantage over something that's hand.
Yeah.
Because you've already got your hands on these.
Yeah. One other cool feature of the Toro machine is the rubber discharge chute. A lot of these will come in plastic, but this rubber kind of is built for that, contractor rough terrain in mind. It can handle kind of a bit of abuse without kind of breaking. So
it does also look like the tyres are meant for something pretty gnarly there.
Extra grip on these tyres, yeah. So they're called a Voodoo tyre, and that's new for this range of Titans, which does give you that extra grip, yeah. So I just wanted to also highlight a couple of the serviceability features of these machines. Everything's really accessible. They run 2800 hydrostatic transmissions, but in ways of engine, you've got your air filter component here, easy to service and clean. You've got your fuel filter, which is located just down here. And then we've got our oil filter down here, easier to remove. It's also got a separate drain plug on there, which you can access for draining the oil out.
Can you put a tow hitch on the back here?
You can, yeah. So this part here is actually mounted with the 4 holes there. That actually is where the tow hitch mounts onto.
Okay, we've got the 2000 here. What is the upgrade that we're getting from the Titan to 2000s?
Excellent question. So basically this is the start of our real commercial range of product in zero turns. The biggest probably difference is the deck. So these runs a 10 gauge deck. This is a full 7 gauge deck, so the lower number, thicker the steel. And that is Toro's Turbo Force deck, which is renowned for its strength and durability. The mower suspension system is on this machine as well, but it is slightly different. It is more of a commercial type of suspension system. Still that same level of adjustment.
I like the retractable.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Because some people just take them off.
Yeah.
I'll muck around with my microphone if I put them on, but
yeah.
I also feel like I could rock my baby to sleep on this. So any new fathers out there who need a rocking chair, this is how you get it past the Minister of Finance.
Right. Yeah.
There we go. When I was doing my research for this, I called up some people who had these machines. And I was talking to one guy who, because you can buy this with or without the My Ride.
You can, yeah. Yep.
My understanding is the shop had one with My Ride in it. He needed it quickly. He thought he didn't want it, but he thought, oh, whatever, I'll get it anyway. He got it. And now he tells me he will not buy a mower without the My Ride.
It's a great,
absolute convert.
Great bit of feedback, because it is something that comes into its own. And when you're a commercial operator using it, for the whole day, you're comfortable on the My Ride machine. You don't feel fatigue at the end of the day. And this is really the design of the Toro organisation, right? All the research and development that we put into our products comes mainly from that customer feedback experience. The My Ride wasn't a thought of someone within Toro. It was built from the feedback from customers and contractors needing more comfort when they're operating and not being fatigued at the end of the day. So,
can you show me how this works?
Yeah.
Because this is slightly upgraded or slightly different from that system. So this can handle a bit more. This is 16k an hour top speed. I go over a bump. I can adjust it depending on the terrain. Right.
100%. Yep.
Show me that.
Sure. So this is the My Ride suspension system. They have 3 shock absorbers, 2 on the back, 1 on the front. The 2 on the back you can adjust down. So you just unclip these things here, and you pull this lever down, and then you pull this lever back up, and that locks that in. So that is on its softest setting at the moment. So talking about putting a baby to sleep, that...
Yeah. I think I've had too much fast food recently for this setting, I'll be honest. Can we get it go as hard as it goes?
And then you can, adjust it all the way up to 5 and anywhere in between.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, so that feels like there's a little bit happening.
Yeah.
But if you're used to having it firm and that's what you want, yeah, it's pretty close.
It's really designed for the comfort of the operator.
Do these have the same clip-on, clip-off?
A little bit different, so it'd be good to show. So this is the same, similar to the Titan, where it just unclips here. And this comes off, gives you access to be able to blow out all on the top of the deck.
So the height adjustment is pretty much the same?
Same concept as the Titan. You can just see this little bit more robust construction because it's obviously more commercial space. To adjust it, it is the same application where you've got your pin. You can choose your height to cut. So I'm going to choose this section height here. And then you just push this in, drop that lever down, and drop down onto that height.
It looks like I can move where this foot. So
yeah,
if
so
I'm short, tall, in the middle.
Yep.
Something that suits you.
So you can adjust it to the operator as well. Yeah. So another feature with our information centre is that it actually will highlight a few things from a safety perspective that you would need to have before the machine will start. So if I've got the PTO engaged, you can see all of these arrows here need to be lit up. And if the PTO I've just engaged, it won't actually start the mower. It also has a safety switch in the seat, which will lift off as I lift off the seat. So you need to make sure that all of those things, park brake, it's in neutral, PTO is disengaged, and I'm sitting in the seat for it to start.
That was all important, but what I really care about is phone holder.
Phone storage and USB. Yeah.
Okay, I know that's like effective, but I gotta listen to my podcast, all right?
So again, like easy access in for servicing. This has the Donaldson filter on there with the pre-filter as well, just for that more commercial application. It's got the drain tube down here, which is already installed on the machine. It's not something you have to add on. And it's a 4-year, 1,000 hour warranty on it, so great warranty. So the 4,000 again is to step up from your 2,000. This has a 5-year, 1,250 hour warranty on it, so that next level up. It runs the same 7-gauge Turbo Force deck, but it runs bigger wheels Again, the chassis on the front is improved. You can notice with the non-mower units, they have this step-up feature, which is actually a really cool feature when you're accessing the machine. Again, this is one of those things that is designed from that customer feedback from the contractors, being able to access the machine nice and easily from the front.
Slightly larger engine.
Yeah, so it runs a larger engine. Still runs the Donaldson filter. It actually runs bigger spindles, so it's a 9-inch cast aluminium spindle on there, and it's a 25.5 horsepower engine.
Now these machines, these are really this is your full-time use machine.
Yep.
Whereas the other one before was sort of like your entry level. Now the thing is, like, the problem with Toro as a brand, you have so many mowers.
Yeah.
That if we were to talk about it, this would be a week-long podcast.
Yeah, we do.
So deck size on these models, 48 through to 60?
Yeah, so we do 48, 52 and 60. On this one, we do the Myride in the 60-inch only, and the 48, 52 are the non-Myride like this one. This one is obviously the 60-inch with the non-Myride. But yeah, we do range from this one, it will step up to a 5000 series model. We then have 6000 series models. We have 8000, which are the direct collect series models. Then we have 7500s, and then we have 7200, 7210 range. So.
And the biggest mower you have width-wise is?
It's 192 inches. So it's our 5900 and 5910.
So you can technically go from, in the commercial or semi-commercial range, what, 42 on the smallest?
48 in the Titan, yep.
Through to 192.
Yep.
This is the new electric range. Everything from walk behind through the ride-on stuff. And what I like about it is that it's the same chassis, the same deck that you're using on the petrol stuff that people love, but you've put battery into it. So there's not that nervousness that it's a brand new machine. No, it's the same machine everybody knows. It's just in battery. And obviously that's where a lot of councils are going. It's where a lot of sort of retirement villages, golf courses, next to houses, they want the quietness. So
yep.
There you go. So this is the equivalent of that 4000 we just looked at.
Yep.
Battery, right?
Yep.
Tell me about it.
So it's designed to run all day. That was one of the things that Toro really wanted to achieve when they designed this. For a contractor, a lot of the challenges with battery is kind of you're limited with your time. Mm-hmm. These things are designed to run all day. There's a few cool features which allow you to get longevity out of the battery life, but essentially they're a contractor space built exactly the same as what our 4000 is, with the battery benefits designed to run all day for a contractor.
This system you showed me before, because one of the questions I asked straight away is, does this cut at the same blade speed?
Yep.
You actually showed me you can adjust that, control that from this panel.
Yep.
So that's going to give you the longevity if you need it, if you don't actually need that much power. But if you literally want the same performance, it's there.
Yep. So it does, obviously for a couple of different reasons. For the application, you can adjust the tip speed of the blades. For the longevity of the batteries, you can also adjust the tip speed of the blades. This will also do that thing where it would automatically pick up when it comes under load, it'll automatically pick up the tip speed of the blades to handle that section that you're going through.
Talk about this Brian on the podcast last time. The cost of the machine is high, like any battery model is higher.
Yep.
But the return on investment, because you're not paying for petrol over a certain lifespan, is actually starts getting really strong.
Yep.
The other thing I think is underrated is because you don't have belts now.
Yeah.
And you don't have that level of maintenance that you used to have on the other machine. And when you have employees and you're paying people to use the machine, the less downtime, you get your money back quicker.
100%. It is one of those things where when you talk about total cost of ownership, and it is really something on the forefront of Toro's mind with all of the stuff that we do. Our contractor machines, versus what you're able to purchase out there, for that total cost of ownership, when you're buying a machine that's going to last you that length of time that it does, it's such an important part of what we do. So that's the PTO engage there. And then if you go through the menu, so it's got the 4 buttons here, but if you go through the menu, you can scroll through, it tells you the hours, it tells you how the maintenance of the blades, so what each individual blade is doing as you're mowing. It will show you the maximum traction speed that you can choose, and then the tip speed of the blades, which can be adjusted up and down with these next buttons here.
How do you know which blade is used more, like you said at the beginning?
So, so as you're mowing, this kind of tells you the load that the motor's coming under. So if you were to mow and you had like a piece of twine caught up underneath the deck, you would actually be able to see it here because that would be putting more load. So these bars light up.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it'll show you more dots lit up on that area, or hypothetically, if you're mowing in one patch that's a little bit thicker in the grass, it just kind of shows you each individual blade.
Next question, obviously, is the warranty on this. Is it the same as the 4000?
So these actually run a 5-year, 1,500-hour warranty, which is just slightly more hours.
So more warranty on the electric than the petrol.
Yep.
Right. I mean, there you go.
One of the other things as well, which is different to the petrol, is that you can actually adjust the rake on the battery unit as well.
Which is, for those who don't know, how the...
Yeah, it's just designed again to be able to maximise your battery life. You can be able to adjust it slightly to give you that longevity out of the battery.
So tilting the front or the back of the deck up or down?
Yep.
I know some people really get into that after as well.
Yeah.
Is there a cut benefit? Is that what you...
So it basically, if you have it on a slight rake, it can discharge the grass a bit better. Yeah.
Yeah, true. Makes sense. And this is the stand-on unit, which is getting really popular.
Yeah.
First thing about these, which I like, is the deck, because that lifts up.
Yep.
An underrated thing about the cost of like large mowers is if you've just started out and you have the trailer you have, you may not be able to fit every single mower into it. So that adds an added cost. So this is the same, I mean, this is the electric version, but the same on the petrol, like I said before. They're the same chassis, same cutting deck, just different power units.
Yep.
But yeah, lift that up. And I believe, correct me on this, I can walk behind this?
100%, yeah. So if there's any areas in, like that you're on a steep slope or something like that where you feel uncomfortable, you can just literally lift that up and operate it as a walk behind mower.
Because these are spring loaded, it couldn't possibly run away from you.
No.
You couldn't knock it and then just have a go, and now I've got to chase after it.
Yeah, I've done it before. It doesn't feel uncomfortable at all, just actually hopping off the machine.
Again, this is the battery version, so same everything else.
Same platform on there, just again, it's kind of built and designed to give you all day runtime in this space for that contractor commercial application.
Harder cut here?
Yep, so you got your harder cut there, pretty straightforward. That also has the rake adjustment on there as well, like the other Revolution zero turn.
Yep. What is the runtime? You said all day. What does all day mean on the other one?
So it depends on the application, but it is, 6-8 hours of runtime that you can get on them. We've had contractors use this for the day, park it up, and it still have life in the battery. So
right. Yeah. Now, I've got to ask this question. What happens if the battery runs out? How do I get this on the truck? Is there a lot of safety features that will stop me from having it run out to start with?
So it does. It will alert you when the battery's kind of getting to that low point, which will give you guidance and enough time to kind of get it back to the trailer. If it does actually fully run out, then you can obviously disengage the transmission and be able to move it,
Yeah, just push it. So the next obvious question, battery mowers, what's the charge time?
So it depends. Obviously, if it runs flat, it's kind of around that 8 to 12 hours, kind of an overnight sort of charge.
Well, and this one's a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Take a little bit longer. This one's a little bit smaller of a battery, so a little bit less.
Yeah, this actually has a bigger charger, so it actually is the other way around. So that would actually charge in a quicker time because it runs a bigger charger on it. But yeah, usually kind of an overnight, and that's if it runs dead flat. If it's not dead flat, then it's obviously less time than that.
Now these are the walk behinds, Revolution range. The whole range is behind us. I can't tell you how many times someone asked me about this because this came out, like 4 weeks ago?
Yeah, it's very new, the E-Time Master. Obviously we've had the Time Master and we've got the Turf Master out for a while. Obviously not in the battery range, but yeah, in ways of efficiency, like it is in a league of its own.
30-inch, yep. The thing about this is, I said this to you off air, one of the biggest annoying features for me on battery mowers is when they only have that auto mode, which obviously you're trying to save battery, I understand that. But the thing is you have a rough patch ahead of you, you know it's there, you want to kick it up a gear, you can put it into max, and then it'll cut through that, back into auto later on if you want to save battery. And some people out there, they go, I don't care, I'm just going to buy more batteries.
Run it in max all the time.
You know? But again, this is petrol with...
Everything on it is the same as the petrol unit, other than the platform of how it's powered, which is the batteries, Yeah,
exactly. And I'll just do that quickly now. Right.
Easy to start up. Self-propelled, yep.
Yep, spin around.
They're really light, even though it's a big machine and it's heavy. In ways of operation with the personal pace, like automatic drive system, it is very, very easy to operate.
And this is why people can't buy for spec sheet. Because if you have a mower that is 5 kilos more than the other, if that 5 kilos more is sitting right on the axle, you don't feel it anywhere near as much as if it's at the front. And everyone has different preferences too. So at some point you've got to go to a shop and get your hand on it and just walk it around like I did, just test it out, because you might find it's completely different to what you were expecting.
Okay, this is really cool. I really like this. This has actually got a couple of spots on here where you can adjust for the operator height. But the cool thing here is you can lock this onto the 90-degree angle. You can take the bag off. And then if you look at this compared to like a normal 21-inch mower, its footprint is actually less. So even though it's a bigger cut and you can be more efficient with it, storage is less. It's cool as.
Now,
you can also flip this right up. So if you need to access the blades for serviceability, you can lift this on a 90-degree angle and then access like all the stuff underneath.
There's not oil because it's battery.
No oil, no fuel.
You can put this on any angle you wanted.
Don't need to worry about any of that stuff,
Right, and while we're looking there, here are the blades.
So the dual blades, timed blades. So that's how it gets it has a reduced depth, because if you had non-timed blades, the deck would be really long. So it's timed blades, atomic blades, built to work.
So 3 batteries in here, so long run time, but you don't have to use them all.
That's right.
Let's see if we can go on one. Can you run on one?
Sure.
So if you wanted it really light, so it runs on 1, so even lighter than it was before. And how big a battery can you fit in this?
So they're 10 amps, so you can run 3 10-amp batteries on it if you wanted.
30 amp hours? And then the natural question is, again, it depends on how high you're cutting, what sort of grass, what sort of conditions, but what ballpark runtime are you getting?
So about around an hour with the 2 batteries.
Depending on what you're doing.
And depending on what you're doing. And you can get a 3rd battery for it as well. Another cool feature, Luke, on these units is that they have a 3-in-1 cutting option. So it does side discharge, it will do bagging, and it will do recycling or mulching. Depending on the application, it can do all 3.
3-in-1, folds up small, extra 9 inches. What else do you need?
What else do you need?
I've heard people swear like this machine is amazing. They absolutely love it in the petrol version. The only thing I've got to really ask is power-wise, how does this compare? We've got 1 battery in here. And are we getting the same performance out of this?
Same performance in power-wise, obviously longevity depends on the application as well, but these are really like it's the strength in this machine is where it comes into its own.
What I've found is some battery manufacturers or mower manufacturers, they are making lighter mowers. I think it helps with the runtime, but you really feel that they're not sturdy. The arms are moving. There's a lot of plastic parts, and you kind of feel like, is it commercial? But this is the same as the other battery.
100%. Toro's legacy, it's like mowers, that's what we do. So now it's going to that battery technology, we're kind of adopting that to that, but it's always there for that commercial presence.
And I think we said with Brian last time that you guys took your time on some of the battery stuff to make sure you got it right. Because some of these platforms have been out for a very long time, but you guys waited to get out. Talk about battery. Let's go into this range.
Sure.
I honestly think the Revolution range is a little underrated in the market. I think it's probably because people know you for the mowers. And there's probably a suspicion that people will go, well, they're good at mowers, surely they can't be good at both. But if you grab that, I actually like it.
It's a fair comment, but I suppose one of the things that Toro does, again, looking at that voice of the customer, like there's a few cool features on this that kind of make it easy for the contractor to use and get the most life out of the battery. So these are actually set up so you can have the battery straight on them, which you can chuck it on. Or you can also run a tether. So if you want to run the backpack blower with a tether, you can do that, which kind of takes the weight of the battery off that hand tool.
And I would also say this is a 2.5 amp hour. That's my favourite one on this.
So it's a variable speed trigger.
Yes.
But you also have a 2-speed on the side as well. Yeah.
And it just feels like a normal line trimmer.
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously with battery you do have runtime issues.
Yep.
But for what I do, which is residential care,
Yep.
you're going back to the ute all the time. I personally don't have problems switching over batteries. But if you were going commercial and you were doing long run times, that's where your linkage comes in.
Yep. So this is the backpack. So basically you got access to the two 10 amp hour batteries here. The cool thing about this is that it can be used for multiple attachments. Yeah, so you've got multiple tools that you can fit on it. It's not just the one backpack for the specific tool.
So runtime with two 10 amp amps in there?
So one 10 amp hour battery on this is about 120 minutes, so two kind of 240.
So hours of runtime.
Yeah.
With that on the back.
Yep.
Going there.
Yep.
Yeah. So large commercial stuff.
Yep.
That's the go.
Yep.
Battery options?
Yep. So we've got, there's quite a few. What we've got on display here today is the 2.5, 4, 6 and the 10. There's also 7.5 amp hour battery option as well. One of the cool additions to this Flex Force range is this 6-pod charger.
Yeah.
So it's set up to be able to charge 6 batteries all at once. You can have it as two options. So you can kind of do one at a time and it will just get it from 0 up to 100%. Or you can, if you're doing it overnight, you can actually, it'll kind of trickle charge each of the batteries up together, which is probably the best way to charge it. But if you need to, under an hour, it can charge a 10 amp hour battery.
Yeah, because for me, one of the challenges of the battery range is when you start buying individual kits,
Yeah.
you end up with, 17 battery chargers for your 17 batteries. I mean, I'm exaggerating a bit, but you get so many, you got to plug them all into the wall.
Yeah.
And what I've done this multiple times before. I've had a 4-port charger, like the connector.
Yep.
And I've had maybe 7 battery chargers there, and I put a battery in charge, walk away, and realise that I unplugged it when I come back in the next morning. And it's something that we don't talk about much, but battery systems, I think everybody needs to start going down this route.
Yep.
If you're a commercial operator, you have that many batteries, you probably need 2 of them. That'll sort you out. Done.
Commercial application, it should be kind of a must. It's just one of those things that will just ensure that you're able to use your machinery like for the day that you need to be able to operate it. So.
And what we should say as well is like this bit comes out,
Yeah.
and
So
this metal bit is bolted on the wall.
yeah. So that's an optional attachment which you can get for it. That metal piece. Yeah. Mounts onto the wall, locates that in there, or you can mount it onto vehicles or whatever.
Yeah, and one plug.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
This is the head trimmer.
Yep.
There you go.
It's actually got a couple of cool features on this as well, which it can rotate, so you can actually adjust that and rotate the handle round to be able to do hedge,
Yeah.
like to hold it easier. It also has 2 speeds and a reverse option as well. So what you heard just before was on low. So if you kind of flick it to the high, you'll hear the difference in the tip speed. And then you can actually chuck it onto the reverse thing,
So if
which
it
actually
gets
if it gets snagged,
yeah.
it kind of just it'll operate and kind of connect it.
Yeah, awesome. So again, high. I get stuck, I'm going to put it in reverse.
Yep.
Done.
Yep.
And obviously, you can put the linkage on that we talked about before.
Yeah, the tether attaches to it, run it off the backpack, yep.
Which would be an entire day, because these head trimmers don't draw much.
300 odd minutes, I think, with the 10 amp battery, so you're talking 600 minutes or something with
10 hours.
yeah, with the 2 batteries, yeah.
Yeah, I think the problem is me after that much time, not the
That's some
batteries
good
anymore.
forearm strength there, yeah.
Yeah, mental strength too to get such torture. Right, man, we could talk for like days because you got aerators, spreader sprayers, I mean, everything, right?
Yep.
But we've got to wrap it up some stage. Where do people want to go if they want to get their hands on this?
So we've got, there's 160 stores around Australia, roughly, through our dealers, which will have a lot of this stuff on the floor, ready to demo. We've also got a demo fleet as part of the Toro team as well. If anyone wanted to get their hands and have a try on it, it's important to understand how it works.
Yeah, and that's the thing I love about this side of it is when you're a contractor and you've got to fork out a lot of money for a machine, you want to be able to test it. And this is more helpful than a spec sheet on a website. But at the end of the day, go down, get your hands on it, try it out, see if it is what you were looking for.
Yep.
And you may be surprised. So 160 stores around the country.
Yep.
Demo fleet's available. I'm guessing toro.com.au.
Yeah, that's the one.
And everybody else, we'll see you in the next podcast. Did put it on good. Somebody might have been a little bit skinnier. Oh no, on one side. Somebody was skinnier than me on the right-hand side. What have I got stuck here? Oh, nothing.
Strap that in.
Let's go. Let me get some leaves. I'm just colouring in your wall. I'm sorry about that. It's all wet, stuck together, doing a pretty good job. And this is the low mode, this one here?
Yeah.
Which I understand is, would you say 160 minutes?
Yeah. Yep.
So 2.5 hours. Of
So that's with the 110 amp. Yep.
With 110 amps,
yeah.
so 2 in the back.
Yeah.
So a really good runtime, and then turbo obviously reduces it quite a bit.
Yep.
But the idea would be that you'd be using this for most stuff, gets a thick pot.
And it's got that's a cruise control function as well. So you can use the variable speed trigger, but if you're comfortable with kind of the speed, happy days.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty much good there. I need a shovel for that bit. That's not really loose blowing stuff.
Leaf
Get this in
blower,
here?
330 minutes peak run time. That'll be 210 amps. Yeah, so it's 160, that's right. He said 100.